if your body does get struck by lightning, there's a number of potential things that can happen. The first thing that we worry about is your heart. So your heart can stop, it can go into a cardiac arrhythmia, so an irregular beat. So it's important if you think or if you have been struck by lightning that you do go to hospital for cardiac monitoring. We also worry about burns. So both where the lightning goes into and leaves your body can be a significant burn. And then we worry about any trauma from any falling objects or anything that may hit you at the same time as well.
And what can we compare it to in terms of that amount of energy that's going into the body at that time?
Yeah, great question. So it's really variable depending on the extent of the storm and how far away the lightning is when it does strike. But the equivalent they talk about at a University of Western Australia article being about turning on 100 light bulbs at the same time.
In some cases, it can cause death. What is the fatality rate for those who get struck?
Yeah. So in Australia, we see about 100 lightning strikes a year, and of those, more than 90% are fine. The patients leave hospital and they go on to continue to live normal lives. Of those, about 9 to 10 may have some ongoing complications, and a smaller number, less than 10, will pass away.
So what do you see at the extreme end of injuries?
So the extreme end will be your heart stopping, so a heart attack, or often the trauma associated with being in or surrounding falling objects.
And what determines the extent of that injury?
Yeah, so what determines it is the strength of the storm, so how much electricity there is, as well as if there's something like a large tree branch or a building or something that falls on top of you at the same time.
And can there be long-term effects for those who are struck?
So the long-term effects are really variable. So the long-term effects on your heart can be the arrhythmia, so the irregular heartbeat, and then the long-term effects of the electrocution themselves can be the burns that then need dressings and then may need surgery. And more importantly is probably if there's been a head injury or a trauma, because the long-term impacts of having a head injury are really significant. And that can impact things like your memory, your ability to function and self-care. And the trauma associated with something falling is often as bad, if not more significant than the lightning strike itself.
So, Dr. Hoffman, what should people do or what should they avoid during a lightning storm?
Yeah. So the key messages are to stay inside and to stay away from any windows or any structures that may fall, and then to keep aware of the Bureau of Meteorology or your local weather source, just to make sure that you're not going out and about when there might be the potential for lightning.